This week on the show, the United States Postal Service announces a fee increase, Amazon announces no fee increase, and Whatnot says they won't have any selling fees at all, but just for one day. What is up, Galaxians? Welcome to episode number 274 of the Galaxy CDs, Rocks, and Flips Reseller Talk podcast. My name is Ryan, and I will be your host. We have got a little bit of reselling news, not a ton going on this week as we wind into the heart of Q4. Things are starting to slow down, but we do have a couple of things to talk about. And then I have got another massive What Sold recap at the back end of the show. So you'll want to be sure to stay tuned for that. I will leave timestamps to all the various sections. So if you want to go to something particular, you can feel free to do that. With that, let's get into this reselling news.
News updates.
Tis the season for the announcement of USPS price increases, at least the announcements thereof. So they just announced their 2025 rate increase. This is for Parcel Select, Ground Advantage, Priority Mail, and a few other things, but it does not include what they consider, I believe, their market dominant things, which includes media mail. They had indicated that there would not be a media mail increase in January. We'll see if that holds. Normally, there's two separate announcements, so I'm still kind of waiting around just to make sure that another shoe does not drop. But they did announce the January price increases, which will be coming, I believe, on like January 19th. Yes, this article is on Value Added Resource, and as always, I will link to these in the show notes and the video description down below. USPS has released proposed rate increases for competitive products like Ground Advantage, Priority Mail Express, all of which will be effective January 19th if approved by the Postal Regulatory Board. I can't recall in the nearly 5 years I've been doing this show a time where the Postal Regulatory Commission did not approve those changes, so I would expect that these will go through. Dateline, Washington. Today, the Postal Service filed notice with the Postal Regulatory Commission, otherwise known as the PRC, for shipping service price changes to take effect January 19th. The proposed adjustments were approved by the governors of USPS this week, so one hurdle already cleared. The change would raise shipping service prices approximately 3.2% for Priority Mail and Priority Mail Express, 3.9% for USPS Ground Advantage, and a whopping 9.2% for Parcel Select, though I don't know how many people really still use that service. And it'll be interesting to see, because right now there are some instances where Ground Advantage is a penny, 2 cents, 5 cents less than media mail at certain price points, at certain weights and zones. It'll be interesting to see when this increase goes through, if that flip-flops back. So again, if you're a media seller, you're definitely going to want to keep an eye on this as it comes into force in January. There is, again, hat tip to Liz. She has all the charts. I will link to this, as I said, in the show notes and the video description down below. But if you want to see it, there are all of the proposed price increases. I don't know if that will blow up a little bit. Yeah. So the last price for this is retail rate. So this is what you'd pay at the counter. So we'll use the example of just a 4-ounce package going to zone 1. It's going from $5 to $5.25. If you were at a pound, it's going from $8 to $8.35, just to give you a couple of examples. If you're taking advantage of the commercial rates, which is what's offered by eBay, Etsy, most of the platforms, places like Pirate Ship and so on, that same package, again, a 4-ounce package in zone 1 is going to go from $3.79 to $3.91, which would still leave it cheaper than media mail for that size package. So if you've got like a CD or something that's 4 ounces or less, until you get out to zone, actually all the way through zone 9, which is like Puerto Rico, Alaska, and so on, Ground Advantage will still be cheaper. Once you get to 8 ounces, however, that equation starts to change. The zone 7s and that will be higher. So just be aware of that. That's coming, as it always does, kind of the third week of January. It will roughly coincide with the end of the holiday surcharge. So you're not going to get much of a break. You're going to go from one temporary price increase to one permanent price increase. as we usually do in January. But again, there is a handy list of all these charts in this article, and I encourage you, if you have questions, to go look at that. But just be aware that that is coming down the pike. If you are an Amazon seller, however, we have got great news for you. Amazon has frozen referral and FBA fees for 2025 and admits that some of their 2024 charges went too far. I had several people that messaged me on Instagram at Galaxy CDs Rocks or various other places to say, man, did you see this? This is great news from Amazon. It's that time of year when Amazon usually announces upcoming fee changes, but this year sellers are getting an early Christmas present with no increases to referral and FBA fees and some fees for large bulky items actually being lowered. This is terrific news. VP Worldwide Selling Partner Services, Dharmesh Mehta, gave the good news in a company blog post last week, acknowledging some of the changes this year added too much complexity for sellers on the platform. As we reflect on 2024 and look ahead to 2025, we want to start by thanking you for your partnership and the tremendous innovation and customer benefit that we have delivered together. In addition to many innovations in the customer shopping experience, we maintained lower fulfillment fees for low-priced products, lowered referral fees for low-priced apparel items, and invested heavily in our supply chain services, including the reorganization of our inbound fulfillment network, improved placement and forecasting, and more efficient operations. This is all referring to the expansion of their regional hubs and their request that you as sellers kind of distribute your stuff to those various hubs rather than to just one place, because it makes it easier for them to do faster delivery, same day, next day, whatever. So this was a big push for them, and it has been highly effective by almost any measure. As you leveraged, they continued these new capabilities and adapted your operations. We saw better in-stock levels, more products placed closer to customers, and the fastest prime shipping speeds to date. Hey, that's what I just said. You'd think I knew what I was talking about. Anyway, our partnership over the last year was key to driving record-breaking sales for independent sellers in Amazon's store, with even more sellers growing their sales year over year. We also recognize these changes and new fee types introduce complexity, requiring some of you to modify your operations, invest in different packaging, and navigate additional business decisions. With this in mind, in 2025, we want to focus on simplicity and stability, minimizing your operational burden and costs while continuing to work together to delight customers and drive growth for your business. While inflation continues to impact our expenses, and we made the biggest ever investment in pay and benefits for our fulfillment and transportation employees, we have also continued to make significant progress in lowering our costs to serve by driving innovation, improving efficiency, and removing defects. As a result, we will not increase U.S. referral and FBA fees and will not introduce any new fee types. We will also lower some fees and provide additional benefits to support new selection growth. Over the coming weeks and into 2025, we will continue to invest in our fee-related product experiences, including, they say, improving your fee calculators and fee preview tools, enhancing the FBA inbounding experience with features that eliminate transportation costs and recommend the most cost-effective shipping options to Amazon, and more, so that you can more easily understand and optimize your business. That is all great news for Amazon FBA sellers. So no incoming price increases, no new fees, and it sounds like, at least from this announcement, a concerted effort to make all of that easier to understand, more transparent, and more efficient for you as a third-party seller. It is the first time in a long, long time, I feel like, where a party who relies significantly on third-party sellers, as we reported with their quarterly announcement, quarterly results, 60% of their business is the result of third-party sellers. So it is a very significant piece of their business. This is the first time where it really feels like they have recognized how important you are as a seller on their platform, and that there is some benefit to them on the back end for making your life easier. So eBay, Etsy, and all the rest, are you listening? They continue, we are lowering inbound placement service fees for large bulky size products, an average of 58 cents per unit, For minimal shipment splits for details, you can go to the inbound placement service fee page. This goes into effect January 15th. We will waive the inbound placement fee for new parent ASINs that qualify for the FBA new selection program and are included in shipments created between December 1st of this year through March 31st of 2025. These items will be exempt from the inbound placement service fee up to the first 100 inbounded units per new parent ASIN. For details, again, go to that link. And we are introducing more incentives for adding certain new selection in our store. We will enhance the new seller incentives and FBA new selection programs with greater fee discounts to further support targeted segments of the new selection growth. These time-bound discounts will be available starting again on January 15th, 2025, and on the seller benefits page for eligible sellers and selection. We will regularly refresh these discounts, and they will include products that are everyday essentials, have high customer demand, but lower selection breadth in our store, and popular brands where customers want greater global availability. So again, huge news over at Amazon. Kudos to them for, again, recognizing that we as third-party sellers, you as a third-party seller, I don't sell on Amazon, but are a significant driver of their business, and that making your life easier and incentivizing you to add new products or to send more products in actually will generate more business, which will in turn create more profitability for them rather than just trying to squeeze that money out of you through increased fees. So mad props to Amazon. And some mad props to Whatnot. They're throwing a Black Friday sale for sellers with a 0% commission promo on Black Friday. More applause. This is really cool. Now, I'm personally, as we will see when we get to the What Sold segment, I'm having increasing success over on Whatnot. A 0% commission day is not going to save me that much money. I figure it's probably $4 or $5, but for the bigger sellers who maybe were already planning a big promotion or a big sale for Black Friday, this could be a significant savings. Live selling platform Whatnot is flipping the script on Black Friday, slashing fees for sellers and promoting featured shows to kick off the holiday shopping season. On Friday, November 29th, Whatnot will drop commission fee rates to 0% on all auction marketplace sales within the promotional period for sellers in the US, Canada, the UK, France, Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands. The promotion runs for 24 hours and is localized to your time zone. So from midnight, wherever you live, to 11:59 p.m., wherever you live, this promotion will be enforced. It is not one of those things where it's specific to their time zone. So whatever it would be, Pacific Coast, whatever, it is specific to your time zone. So you will get the full 24 hours that makes the best sense for you. It only applies, notably, to the commission fees. Payment processing fees for each transaction, which will still apply. That's 2.9% and plus 30 cents in the US. If you are somewhere else, those fees will vary, and there is a link in this article where you can go see those. But again, this is for the selling fees only, which is 8% that you will not be charged on that day. There are still a couple of important caveats, however. All auction and marketplace sales within the promotional period will be eligible. When you schedule or start your show does not impact if this promotion will apply to a sale. The only thing that matters is when each individual listing purchase is processed. So I went in, I already had a show scheduled for Friday, my normal 7 p.m. Eastern science fiction show. I went ahead, I have been accumulating as I've gone through some of my recent purchases, stacks of vintage books that I wanted to do, kind of individual Whatnot shows to try. I have created just one massive show for Black Friday afternoon. I think it's got 30 books in it, 30 vintage books. So I'm going to run a second show and sale that day to try to take advantage of this and maybe move, again, some extra inventory. So, and you are able to set those sales up in advance. So that is good. However, be aware, if a customer submits an offer, you can do a pre-bid on most of these shows. If a customer submits an offer on a listing prior to the start of the promotion and you accept the offer within the promotion period, so Joe goes to my science fiction page for my 7 p.m. show and he sees a book that he wants and it's $1 start and he puts it in a pre-bid for $1, when that show goes live and that item sales, the promotion will not be valid. Will not be valid. So be aware of that. If someone pre-bids on your item prior to 12 a.m. on Friday, that particular transaction is not going to qualify for the free fees because the buyer committed to purchase prior to the promotion being in place. Even though the transaction was not completed, they committed to it by making a pre-bid. So be aware that you may still have some sales that do not qualify for this free offer. So again, the promotion only applies to offers that are both submitted by the customer and accepted by the seller within the promotion period. Still in all, a terrific thing for Whatnot to be doing as they continue to just do these little things to snipe away at sites like eBay, who's still really trying to get their live selling going. Last week, I got 2 notifications, push notifications to my phone for people doing live sales. Oddly, they were in categories that I have never shopped on eBay for, so they're not super targeted. But they're definitely trying to push their live aspect. And here is an opportunity for Whatnot sellers to capitalize on some fee-free selling. So if you're a seller over there and you don't have a sale set up for Black Friday, you might want to think about that and save yourself some money on fees. Last thing that I can confirm for this week, actually, that's not right. I got 2 more here. StockX updates their U.S. returns policy and extends returns for the holidays. Sneaker marketplace StockX is updating their U.S. return policy to allow more flexibility for buyers to return shoes, and they're also extending the return period for the holidays. Announced last week, StockX introduced a new returns policy for U.S.-based customers, offering an enhanced shopping experience with more flexibility. For the first time ever, U.S. customers can return eligible items within 14 days of delivery for a full refund. However, it is in the form of a StockX credit, and it's minus the original shipping cost. This policy aims to provide customers with an additional layer of confidence when making purchases. All of these sites harp on offering returns all the time. eBay is constantly pushing for sellers to accept not only just returns, but free returns, and to give as long a return period as possible. I'm pretty sure I saw a notice on eBay the other day saying that you should extend your return policy beyond your normal 30 days for the holidays. I, for one, am not doing that. 30 days is plenty of time on vintage books, but in certain categories, it may make sense. So all these sites are pushing from a customer service standpoint for sellers to accept returns, and now StockX has kind of jumped on this. At StockX, they said, "We're always listening to our customers to ensure that we deliver the best possible shopping experience from start to finish. The ability to return items has long been one of our most requested features," said StockX VP of Customer Experience and Insights, Jacob Fenton. "That's why we're excited to announce our new returns policy designed to give our U.S. customers added peace of mind when making purchases on our platform. This new policy, along with no fee resale and our buyer promise, demonstrate our commitment to providing customers with a seamless, secure, and confident shopping experience on StockX." The blog post went on to provide details about the new policy, including allowing purchases made between November 27th and December 31st to be returned through January 15th, 2025, to allow extended time for holiday shoppers. So it's an extra 2.5 weeks above and beyond this new 14-day return policy. So there you go. Eligibility: returns for StockX credit are available only for eligible items, which is determined by StockX, of course, on the exact product and size. As of today, over half of all trades are going to be available for returns. You can see which items are available for return on the products page. Condition requirements: the item must be received by StockX in the same condition that it was delivered in. That means the StockX tag cannot be removed, or the StockX sticker must still be attached. So if you receive an item as a buyer and you remove the StockX, I've never bought from them, but whatever, wherever they have their tag attached to the item, if you take that off, you are eliminating your ability to return it. Once that's done, that thing is yours. If you try to send that back, I assume they're going to send it back to you. Not eligible returns for items that are not available for returns. Check out No Fee Resale and resell your recently purchased items with 0 fees for up to 30 days. And again, the holiday window, November 27th to December 31st, can be returned to StockX through January 15th as part of their extended holiday return policy. If you're a seller over there, let me know in the comments what you think of that. Mercari. This came out mid last week, and it was rolled out really, as many things have been recently, in a really seemingly haphazard fashion. So this article appeared over on Value Added Resource on November 21st. Mercari local delivery service abruptly discontinued amidst U.S. leadership shakeup. So we've talked on this show over the last couple of months about what's going on over there with various comings and goings. John Lagerling, the current CEO, is stepping down at the end of December to be replaced by the Japanese CEO, Shintaro Yamada, if I remember his name correctly. So there's a lot of stuff going on over there, and they had made some other changes fairly recently. They had changed how they allow you to send offers. It used to be capped at 10 per day. That cap was removed. However, they also kind of simultaneously removed the auto accept offers function within the listing flow. So that was kind of a weird one. And now they have discontinued this local delivery service. Although at the time this article came out, I still had access to it. I could still create listings. It was still popping up as an option. And about 24 hours later, it had then finally disappeared. The article says Mercari has abruptly discontinued their local delivery offering, giving users less than 24 hours notice to make adjustments to their listings. This service was originally launched in 2021, and it leveraged a partnership with Uber to provide local delivery in many cities across the country with fees starting at $15.99, which was really high, to be fair, for smaller items up to $199 for large, bulky items like furniture. And this was something you had to, as a seller, agree to receive push notifications. There were a whole laundry list of things you had to do to take advantage of this. Maybe their data just said most people were not doing it. I didn't offer it. I ship everything USPS, so I wasn't doing it. Maybe they just discovered that most sellers were not using it, and it just didn't make sense for them financially to continue to. I don't know what their cut of this was, but that as a delivery option has gone away. There was one other thing that a couple of people alerted me to, and I have not been able to find any specific information on it, but if you are a seller on Depop, apparently there was a pop-up in the app that they're running some kind of listing promotion. If you do listings within a certain time frame, you are eligible to be entered into some kind of contest to win, I don't recall what it was, $500 or $1,000, something like that. So if you're a seller on Depop and are aware of that, please let us know in the chat or in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, did you see that? What are the specifics? Again, I had a couple of sellers that pointed out that there was some kind of promotion going on Depop that had appeared as kind of a pop-up, but there's nothing on their blog that I could find as of the time of recording. I couldn't find any official information about it. So if you are aware of that, let us know in the comments down below. With that, it's time for some What Sold. It was a crazy busy week here at the Galaxy. If you're following me on Instagram, again, at Galaxy CDs Rocks, I created 210 new listings last week. I was grinding away down here in the Batcave, and I sold, I think, if I remember right, the number was 128. It was something like that. It was a really busy week. We got a pretty healthy What Sold recap here. I think there's like 17 items. There is nothing here super, super huge, but there's some interesting stuff. And this is one of those things where when you start to accumulate 40, 50, 80 sales in that $20+ range or whatever, things can get pretty fun. So this first item sold over on eBay. This was part of a big 650 odd book lot that I picked up, a couple of months ago now. Isometrics by Henry Wittenberg. This is an Award Books illustrated paperback, first printing from 1964. It's kind of a workout type book about how to improve your physical and mental health through this isometric isometrics program. I had it listed for $21.99, received an offer of $20. My cost of goods sold is just 38 cents. So I went ahead and accepted that offer. The buyer's order total, including tax, was $26.82. I paid $4.01 in fees, $1.88 for promoted listings general fee. Cost me $4.63 to ship. Again, 38 cents. Cost of goods sold. Net profit $13.73 for this old paperback. Hey, look at this. For the first time, we're going to get more applause. I finally sold something for more than $4 on Whatnot. This was an interesting one, and it was one of those, as I said, kind of what I've talked about with my strategy on Whatnot. I'm kind of listing mostly moderate value and lower value items over there right now. I'm not trying to put a bunch of super valuable stuff over there because the shows just aren't garnering enough attention to necessarily warrant it. And every now and then I'll sneak one in, something that looks like it should have some value, just to see if anything happens with it. And this is the first time that that's popped off in any kind of way. This book is called The Long Sleep. It was written under the pen name of John Hill. It was a 1975 Popular Library paperback, but this book was actually written by Dean Koontz under the name John Hill and is fairly hard to find. So this is one, I've had it for quite a while. There's not a lot of them out there. I had it listed for $49.99 over on eBay. And it was in a box of some other science fiction books that I was pulling for this show. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to try this. I did this as a $5 start, and this ended up getting bid up to $20 over on Whatnot, which is by a factor of 5, my biggest single sale so far over on Whatnot. So pretty cool. This was again, a $20 sale. Buyers pay shipping directly to Whatnot, so I never see that money, so I didn't include it here. The order total was $21.40. I paid $2.53 total in fees, 8% for their equivalent of the final value fee plus the transaction fee, credit card transaction fee, 2.9% and 30, so $2.53. My cost of goods sold on this book was a whopping 50 cents, so I made $16.97 on this book over at Whatnot. I've been doing sales now for a little over a month on Whatnot, and it's coming up on $250 or $300 total. Again, still a lot of $1 and $2 stuff, but last week, the science fiction show, I did have several other items that exceeded that $4 and $5 mark, and then this one at 20. So things are starting to move in the right direction. I'm up to 126 or 127 followers. So the growth there has been pretty good. So all in all, I'm pleased with the direction things are going for me over on Whatnot. And this was, despite the fact that it sold for less than half what I would have expected maybe to get on eBay, it did sell. It has moved. I've had it on eBay for over a year. So all in, I'd call it a win. Back over to eBay, The Golden Legend by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. This was a 1902 hardcover from Homewood Publishing. The picture, if you're watching on YouTube, does not do justice for how bad this book looked. It was splitting along the spine. Someone had taken pencil and scribbled all over both the front and the back cover. Pages were very tan. This book was super, super rough. But it was also fairly rare and fairly old, so I went ahead and listed it for $20.99, and that's what it sold for, $20.99 plus shipping. I paid $4.02 in fees, $1.89 for promoted listings. My cost of goods sold, this is from the 15,000 book lot, so this is a 4-cent book to me. My net profit, $15.04 on a book that was 122 years old, but in really rough shape. These I just picked up as part of that big 1,800 book lot, and a pretty cool collection. This is the new annotated Sherlock Holmes volumes 1 and 2, big, almost coffee table sized books from 2005, illustrated with some really cool illustrations. These were massive, massive books, very heavy, but a nice set. I was into them for 50 cents a piece, so I got $1 in this. Had them listed for $24.99 for the 2 of them. Got a watcher, sent out my offer, and sold them for $21.24 plus shipping. Media mail shipping cost was $10.63. So again, very, very heavy. So the buyer's order total was $33.15. I paid $486 in fees, $232 for promoted listings general. I did ship this Ground Advantage, so I saved a little bit of money there, just $772. Again, total cost of goods sold on this was $1. Net profit, $15.97. Another one on eBay, the New International Atlas of the World Deluxe Edition from 1944. Was this called the War Edition? Illustrated, big hardcover. Again, a huge, heavy book from the World War II era. Atlas of the World in really nice condition. A little bit of fading on the front, but overall, really, really nice version of this atlas. Had it listed and sold for $21.99. This was also part of that big 650 odd book lot, so my cost of goods sold was just 38 cents. I paid $469 in fees, $223 for promoted listings, $8.38 to ship this thing. My net profit, $14.69. Here's another one. I talk about these probably a couple of times a month. These old, like, local area cookbooks and whatnot. This is from a department store that, as far as I know, was local to the kind of southwestern Ohio region, called McAlpin's. This is McAlpin's Pass the Recipes, Please, an illustrated cookbook of recipes from McAlpin's Associates that was published in 1995. I picked this up at an estate sale several months ago for $1. And it was part of my sale at $22.39, and that's what it sold for plus shipping. I was into this thing again for $1. So again, if I can get these for less than $1, I will usually snap up a lot of local area, school, church, local business cookbooks. Again, under the idea that someone's mother, grandmother, aunt, whoever, uncle, could be, who knows, has a recipe in this book that someone in the family no longer has, or they just want it in this version. Again, from $1 to $22.39 on an old kind of regional cookbook, I will do those deals all day long. I paid $428 in fees, $202 for promoted listings. Again, dollar cost of goods sold. My net profit on this $22.39 sale was $15.09. Another old textbook, College Algebra, 2nd edition by Raymond W. Brink. This was part of the Appleton Century Mathematics series from 1951. Really nice condition. Had a Mylar cover over the cover. No notes, no writing. Super, super clean for a book from the 1950s. Had it listed for $29.99. Received an offer of $24. This was part of a big estate buy that I was into for just 94 cents. So again, seemed like a good deal, and I took it. $461 in fees, $219 for promoted listings. Again, I talk about this all the time. If you're not doing promoted listings, and I know there's a lot of controversy about it, especially with the way they have, in an unannounced fashion, raised the minimum requirement to participate in the program in terms of your fees, what you're bidding. But almost all of my sales here that we've done so far have come from that program. So it costs you money, but it does work. Again, I paid $219 in the promoted listing fee, 94 cents cost of goods sold. My net profit, $16.26. First sale for the week on Etsy. Again, more old textbooks. This was Temperature Measurement in Engineering in 2 volumes from 1975. This was a paperback book collection written by Dean Baker, in really nice condition. These were picked up at the same lot as that algebra textbook we just had, so my cost of goods sold total was $1.82. $24 is what these sold for, with an offer that was sent in by the potential buyer plus shipping. Their order total was $31.84. I paid $312 in fees. Thankfully, no offsite ad fee on this one, so that was it. My total cost, $12.78. Net profit, $19.06. Again, I love these old textbooks. I will generally grab them up as quickly as I can find them. Speaking of, here's another one. This is from 1910, Cement and How to Use It by William Radford, an illustrated hardcover from the Radford Architectural Company. It is exactly what it claims to be. It is a book about how to use Cement. Really interesting. I picked this up at an estate sale, I want to say late in the winter last year for a buck and a half. Had it listed and sold on eBay for $24.99 plus shipping. $4.82 in fees, again $2.30 promoted listing fee, $6.13 to ship. That $1.50 cost of goods sold led to a net profit of $16.37. Back over to Etsy. This is another one from the big 650 book lot purchase, The Caprice Immensity by Gwen Frostic from 1983, a first edition illustrated hardcover from Press Craft Papers. I've talked about Gwen Frostic's stuff quite a bit. If you can find any of her stuff, I think the lowest selling price I've had for any of her books is like $12.99. And many of them have gone for quite a bit more than that. This one sold on Etsy at a discount for $25.19. So again, if you stumble on any stuff from Gwen Frostic, they are books of poems, and she does like woodblock printing. Really, really nice books. Everyone is slightly individual because the pages are kind of hand done. They are really, really beautiful books if you can find them in reasonably good condition, and they sell fairly quickly and bring pretty good money. This one again, $25.19. I paid $3.23 in fees. This did sell through Etsy's offsite ad program, so $4.59 in the offsite ad. Yikes. 38 cents cost of goods sold, net profit $16.99. Another old textbook. This one I picked up at an estate sale just a couple of weeks ago for $1. Study Guide for Modern Technical Physics by Arthur and Germaine Beezer from 1966. This was a paperback that accompanied a hardcover textbook about modern technical physics. It was just randomly on this table of mostly like romance books, so it was really out of place, which is why it caught my eye. I comped it while I was there. It looked like it was pretty valuable, so I grabbed it. Again, cost of goods sold was $1. I had it listed for $29.99. I sent out an offer and sold it for $25.49 plus shipping. $4.80 in fees, $2.29 again in promoted listing fees. My net profit $17.40. A sale over on Mercari. This is the clean sweep grand slam. I sold something that qualified for the what sold segment on every single platform this week, so that's cool. This is Tomorrow's Champion by C.W. Anderson. This is from 1946. It's a Macmillan illustrated hardcover. The C.W. Anderson wrote a bunch of books in the 1940s that are all about thoroughbred horses and horse racing. They are big, kind of 8.5 by 11, beautifully illustrated books. I was at an estate sale maybe a month ago, and there were, I don't know, 6 or 8 books from this particular author in that collection. I did a bulk purchase while I was there. I'm into this for 87 cents. It sold on an offer on Mercari for $31. Customer did not pay shipping because I do free shipping over there. So that is offset by the fact that I don't currently at least pay any fees over on Mercari. So my total costs were only $9.35, including shipping. So this $31 sale netted me $24.75. I've said it before. I'll continue to say, I hope Mercari gets everything straightened out. Whether they reinstitute fees over there or not, I hope they can get it sorted because I really like the platform. I think there's great opportunity there, but they have got their work cut out for them. Back over to Etsy. This is also from that big 650 book purchase, Spurgeon's Sermons, 5th series by Reverend C.H. Spurgeon. This is from 1891, published by Funk and Wagnalls. This was a hardcover in really nice condition for a book of that age. Listed over on Etsy for $39.99. My 10% off sale meant this sold for $35.99 plus shipping. $4.31 in fees. Again, just 38 cents cost of goods sold. My net profit on this thing, $32.05. Again, showing why the offsite ad fee notwithstanding, why I love selling on Etsy. The net profit is just so much better over there. Back over to eBay, De Re Metallica by Georgius Agricola. This is a Dover Publications illustrated hardcover with its dust jacket from 1950. Fairly hard to find book. I think the original book was written in, I want to say maybe in the late 1800s. This is a Dover kind of reprint from the 1950s. Dust Jacket was pretty rough, pretty significant damage at the top, but it's a fairly unusual book, fairly difficult to find. It was part of a big lot of, again, kind of metallurgy type textbooks that I'm into for 94 cents, listed and sold for $39.99 plus shipping, $7.28 in fees. This did not sell through the promoted listings program, so no fees there. $6.88 to ship. Again, that 94 cents cost of goods sold. Net profit $31.77. This is one from the big 1800 book lot that I just completed. Morals and Dogma of the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. This is the 1956 hardcover version of this. Almost all of them seem to be fairly valuable. So if you can find these, any of this Freemasonry stuff is usually worth taking a look at. This was listed and sold for $39.99 plus shipping. Over on eBay, the order total was $49.92. I paid, again, $7.12 in fees, $3.49 for promoted listings. Cost of goods sold, 50 cents. Net profit, $28.88. And here's the second of these. I talked about one of these. It's probably been about a month ago. K-Line Super Snap O-Gauge right-hand remote switch. I sold the left-hand one. You may recall I picked these up at an estate sale. I paid $10 a piece for these. They were in boxes that said they were actual Lionel branded switches, but when I got them home and really inspected them, I discovered that they were actually K-Line, which is compatible with the Lionel stuff, but they were not what they said on the actual box. It made maybe $10 or $15 difference in the listed value of these, but they were still pretty good. I had them listed for $49.99. I got an offer on this one of $42, which I went ahead and took. Buyer paid $16.20 for USPS ground shipping. Fees $8.12 plus $4.38 in promoted listing fees. It only cost me $10.04 to ship. Again, through Ground Advantage, so I don't, as I've said before, pass on my discount on eBay to the buyer. So that allowed me to recoup a little bit of the offer discount. Cost of goods sold, as I mentioned, $10. So this netted me $25.66. And this, I believe, is the flip of the week: A Method for Creative Design by Adolfo Best Magard from 1952, published by Alfred A. Knopf. This is a hardcover about was like graphic design for advertising in that. I was at a estate sale. Gosh, this is probably a couple of months ago, and there was a whole box full of books about how to do newspaper and magazine layouts, how to create ads, how to do art for that type of thing. I picked up this whole box of stuff for 50 cents a piece, so pretty good score. This one I had listed for $64.99 plus shipping. I received an offer of $55 because I owned it for 50 cents. I went ahead and took that deal. The customer's order total was $64.98. I paid $9.14 in regular fees, $4.55 for the ad fee. Again, a 50-cent cost of goods sold. Net profit on this bad boy was $40.81, which is pretty good. And that is going to put a wrap on what sold for the week. Again, pretty productive. As I sit here on Sunday recording this, it's been a pretty solid weekend as well. I hope your business is ramping up for Q4. As always, if you have anything that you would like to share in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, please feel free to do so. Always love to hear from everybody. Thank you, as always, for spending a little bit of your time with me, talking about the reselling news and what sold here at the Galaxy. We will be doing a live this Wednesday, kind of just a Thanksgiving celebration. No news, no bad news, just going to chill and be thankful that we get to do this for a living, for those of us who are doing it full time, and for those who are doing it kind of as a side hustle, just to be thankful for the ability to do this, to make a little extra income to help pay for your holidays or your vacations or whatever. So that's kind of the point of the Thursday Live. I hope to see you all there. If you're not currently a subscriber to the YouTube channel or a follower of the podcast, I would appreciate if you would do that as well. Would love to have you on board. As I sit here, I'm at 1,898 subscribers, so kind of starting to get close to 2,000, which would be a pretty significant milestone for a guy sitting down here in the Bat Cave. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me this week. And now it's time to sell. Thanks, guys. You have been listening to the Galaxy CDs Rocks and Flips Reseller Talk podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you again next time.